Hi Virgo, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Virgo, this reading is for Virgo. Virgo, it's for Virgo. I'm 100% sure it's for Virgo. Did I say that enough? All right. With that said, remember they're general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody. That is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you, and if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and you want some of that Rafi love, hit the subscribe button. So your jumping card, which is your key to the week this week, is the Moon card, right? So this makes sense, right? It makes sense in so many ways because at the moment, obviously, we're all under the eclipse energy, and so Luna is really kicking out, and the Moon card has just shown up for a lot of signs, right? Even though the Moon card is Pisces energy, it's obviously sometimes tarot gets really literal. Now, in all of these different areas of life this week, you are going to be revisiting the past. I wonder why, because Mercury, your ruling planet, is currently retrograde in the sign of Aries, which, yes, is where you have the new moon solar eclipse, right? So there's a lot in this, right? There's a lot of past energy floating about at this moment in time, and there's obviously you either ruminating on the past or rethinking or redevising some of your plans. For your actions and options, you have the 10 of Wands. So one of the ways that this might show up for you is a release of the burdens that you feel. This might actually be you getting really serious about saying, you know what? This is not my responsibility, whether this is with family, whether it's with friends, whether it's with colleagues at work. Maybe this is just even in terms of like a societal thing, right? One of the things that I have personally found and that I am trying to work through is a feeling of trying to make myself smaller because I'm worried that I will come across as aggressive or whatever the case might be, right? And the truth of the matter is a lot of people, like when I say this to them, like they're like, oh, but you're such a lovely guy and all the rest of it. But the sad truth of the matter is, even in 2024, when people take one look at me out there on the street, I know exactly what's behind their eyes. I'm very intuitive as well, right? Obviously. When they see me, right, when they see me walk into a shop or whatever, I still get followed around the shop by security guards. What they see is a big brown burly guy with a bald head, and a goatee, right? And so straight away I get all of the stereotyping. And so I, for a long time, got into this habit of trying to shrink myself and make my voice a little bit more docile and calm because I didn't want people to see me as aggressive. I didn't want people to see me as a thief. I didn't want people to see me as this, that and the other. You can imagine how much fun I have going through an airport security. Fuck me. But now, fuck all of that. I am who I am. If you don't like it and if you feel like I'm aggressive or you think I'm out to, you know what, I really ain't fucking interested. You follow me around the store if you feel you need to, right? This may be, the reason I'm giving that example from a personal example is so that it kind of makes more sense for you on the context. There may be some form of societal norm where you're like, you know what? Why the fuck am I apologizing for being who I am? I'm here breathing up, taking up space, breathing air. I pay my taxes, I pay my bills just like everybody else. You know what? I deserve space too. And so whatever the societal thing is in your life that you're thinking, why am I apologizing for the way that I was born? Right? Don't do it anymore. This may be you releasing that burden to say, you know what? I'm done apologizing for who I am. And Virgo, I'm here for it. In terms of the options that are available to you with the 10 of Wands, you might actually have a chance to displace or to move something that's been a problem or an issue for you up until now. For your communications and conversations, you have the 8 of Swords, right? So, constriction, confinement, when we make changes like the one that I've just talked about, Other people have to change the way that they treat us, the way that they connect with us. Their point of reference of who you are has to shift. Not everybody is able to do that. And so you might find that this cage, literally, that you're, trying to break out of or to escape, maybe you're met with some resistance this week. And so you might find yourself having conversations. And obviously Mercury is retrograde, Mercury is your ruling planet, it is the planet of communication. So I want you to be really clear here, Virgo. It's not that you're justifying, right? You're not justifying, you're letting people know. There's a difference, right? I am no longer doing, having, being, or taking responsibility for how you receive me in the world. That's totally different. That's you telling people how it's going to be versus, oh, well, I do this because, and I try to make myself like that because, no. That's justification. We're not doing that anymore, right? We're not doing it anymore. And I love this. I'm so here for this for you, just because I know a fair amount of Virgos. And you guys are tough. Like, I'm not sitting here saying that you're marshmallows by any stretch, right? Not in the slightest. But what I am saying is, I know I've had that experience myself. And so when I see these cards like this, there's something here that you're addressing this week. And when you feel like really passionate about it and you're like, oh, I need to stand up for myself. No, you don't. What you're doing is letting people know how it's going to be from here on in. You don't have to justify anything to anyone, right? Now, for those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this may be that you end up dropping a subject. It might be that you say to yourself, actually, you know what, that's not for me anymore. I'm going to put that down so that I can focus more on the things that I really want to do that actually resonate with where I'm trying to take my path or my life. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, this with the Moon card, something that you've been held to or expected to see out or through, this week you're breaking out of. Maybe some kind of duty or responsibility. Let's say you had a work colleague leave, right? And so recently you've been filling in for that person's job. This week you might say to yourself, actually, you know what? I've been doing this for X amounts of time. I've had no pay rise. I've had no extra bonus. I've had no support doing this extra work. And on top of that, I've not been given any new title. You know what? I'm putting these responsibilities down. Thank you. No, thank you. Goodbye. Maybe you're not leaving the job, but you know what I mean? It's like you're saying enough is enough. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, this with the Moon card and the Ten of Wands, there's a chance here that you are maybe going through your client books and saying, okay, this is the type of clientele that I no longer want. I no longer subscribe to this kind of interaction in my work or in my business. Fair play to you. All right, absolutely fair play to you. When it comes to your those of you that are retired and no longer working, this with the Moon card is there's going to be a conversation this week that really helps you see where it is that you've got in your own way when it comes to your lifescape. All right, just in general, this is like where you have contributed, and we all do this. Make no mistake, I'm not sitting here on any high horse, right? We all do this. Every single one of us every single one of us does this. We contribute to the crap that's in our lives, and then we have to take a step back and go, okay, you know what, this is where okay, fine. I do this, and this is why I have this result, and da-da-da-da. You're taking ownership of it this week, right? But you're having a conversation that will be uncomfortable because someone's pointing it out to you, but straight away, like the Virgo badass that you are, you're adjusting accordingly. Hey! For your love and relations, you've got the King of Pentacles. So in some way, shape or form, you show up within your relationship sphere. Very strong. You might be commanding the relationship this week to say, listen, you know what? This is where I want us to go in the future. Are you on board? You might be having a really tough conversation in that regard to have the check-in to say, listen, where are we at? Where are we going? Are you okay with this? Are we on the same page? This could also be, on a brighter side, that your partner gets a promotion, which could be really very welcome at this moment in time. When it comes to those of you that are single, it's likely to be an earth sign person, Taurus, Capricorn or Virgo that you connect with. So that could be really nice. With the Moon card in excuse me. with the moon card in tow, it's very possible that this earth sign person could be somebody that you already know, maybe somebody that you've already dated. With this 10 of Wands here though, this is the factor that makes me say maybe this is not a bad thing. If you've been with me long enough, you know, I always say, if someone comes back into your life that you've been in a relationship, it's very rarely for reconnection. It's usually just so that you can assimilate whatever lessons they gave you. So the universe is tapping you on the head to say, did you learn? No? Okay, make the same mistake again, right? However, this time, it's like you're laying down the law straight away to say, listen, if we're going down this path, I need to see how you've changed. I don't want to hear it. I want to see the demonstrative actions of how you have actually changed. Better get it, Virgo. And then finally, for your money and materials, you've got the 9 of Wands. There's something that's going to happen on the wider world stage in the finance sector this week. It's just there's too many things that are coming up within the finances, and it can't just be everybody. Do you know what I mean? Like there's something happening on the wider world stage this week when it comes to the world's finances. There's going to be, you know, maybe some form of a cyber attack that's possible, and it will likely be on like a big bank or whatever. What's really interesting about that is I saw this in the yearly videos, in the year ahead astro taroscopes. If you want to get those, there's a link in the description box below. $7.99 a piece or $49.99 for the entire 12 bundle. Bargain. Speaking of bargains, on the 18th of the month, I will be opening enrollment for my tarot course. This is the last time I will teach this course this year. 12 weeks, 36 hours of live class content on top of bonus videos, etc. and all of that good stuff. Enrollment will open on the 18th and will close on the 30th. I keep the group small. There's only 20 spaces. So if you want to get that, stay tuned, right? You'll see it popping up on all of my socials, in all of my videos and all of that good stuff. With that said, when it comes to your money and your resources, you've got the 9 of Wands with the moon card. This could potentially be an old debt that resurfaces. It could be maybe you go through your credit score or your credit report and you look at it and you're like, holy shit, this is what's been, you know, this actually happened to me last year. I had a charge that because I thought I'd paid the account and closed it up, but what I didn't realise is that the last payment hadn't been settled. So they'd closed the account but not sort of taken it off. So every month it was just showing up, and because I wasn't checking my credit score, I got to, I think it was like, no, this was 2022, and then at the beginning of 2023 I checked my credit score and it was in the gutter, and I was like, what the hell? And when I had a look, I had this whole back and forth with them. In the end they fixed it, and you know, they've done everything that needs to do, and it's now really high. But this might be something like that. The 9 of Wands is a vulnerability. It's a wound of some sort, right? With the moon card, something from the past around your finances or your money that is causing a problem in the present, and it's like you see this and you're like, holy crap, this is what the issue has been all this time, and I couldn't work it out. I couldn't understand it. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, the 9 of Wands is a card of healing in that you're acknowledging that there is a problem. Because you've got this with the moon card, this could be a chronic health situation that either resurfaces, or maybe you have a flare-up of some sort and you say, right, straight away, rather than doing the back and forth and the to and fro, and you just say, no, I'm going to get this sorted now, and you get really proactive about making it happen. And then finally, when it comes to your home and environment, this with the moon card, this, I mean, again, there's something happening in your locality, right, in your neighborhood, and it's potentially something that will affect, you know, more than just you. This might be something like a few months ago we had a house up the road literally burned down, and I don't mean like, oh, you know, they had a little bit of fire damage. I mean like literally the roof caved in, like they, you know, it's basically just a shell, not even a shell, it's like just a stump right, of where, you know, there used to be a house here. A touch wood, I don't necessarily think this is you, but I do think it's happening around you, and whatever this is that's affecting the neighborhood, it will, because you live there, affect you too. This could be a blackout. I am seeing this week a blackout of some sort of epic proportions. I'm definitely seeing some form of a cyber attack in the finance world. And the other thing that I'm seeing quite possibly as well is, what's the word? yeah, I'll stop there. Anyway, on outside of that, I actually think this can be a good week, because it's like by the time you finish this week, you'll look back at it and say, wow, that was a really intense week of clearing, but it was one that really needed to happen. And a big part of this is because you are taking command and saying, you know what? Ain't my responsibility anymore. I'm putting that down. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.